Giants on the road against Philadelphia, trying to beat them. It's been a house of horrors against the Philadelphia Eagles. They haven't won in close to a decade. You know, the old adage, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. I just did the pod with Brandon Jacobs, 27 and Q, and he said, you know what? Nobody gives a shit about that at the end of the day because they did it in 2007 against the Dallas Cowboys. But from a betting standpoint right now, this line is Philly laying a touch plus 7.5.
Yeah, and the New York Giants still aren't getting enough respect. The Giants have been 14-4 covering against the spread this year. That's ridiculous. The Eagles have not covered. I can't remember the last time the Eagles covered, not since early December. I think 7.5 points is way too much. People think about that 48-22 game back at the end of November. This is a different Giants team. If you look just solely at the defense, we have Adoree Jackson back, who wasn't there that game. Leonard Williams did not play that game. Xavier McKinney were a lot healthier on defense. And bottom line, Rich, Daniel Jones is playing the best football of his career right now. He's playing with nothing but confidence. Saquon Barkley, having him sit that week 18, got him plenty of rest. He's rejuvenated. I think that the Eagles still might be hurting. Lane Johnson's questionable. That would be a huge loss if he can't play. There's a few guys on defense for the Eagles that won't be playing. Avonte Maddox is one of them. A few other guys like Sweat is questionable for the game. I love, from a betting standpoint, I love the Giants to cover. I'll talk about my fan take a little later, but 7.5 is way too much. I think the Giants play them very tough. They play them just because in the last game of the season too, their B squad covered the spread. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, I know, wasn't 100%, but I think that seeing Jalen Hurts for the third time, they'll know how to cover him. They'll know how to negate the run because that's his big weapon. He's using his legs. So I love the Giants to cover in this situation.
I think it's a fourth quarter game. I do. And that's what the Giants want. They might have to score 24 plus. I get it. You might have to have those unheralded wide receivers try to get separation. You know, they'll stack the box. You want Jones to try to beat just Saquon. But to your point with the Eagles, it's a tale of two teams, right? Because the Giants are not certainly what we saw a couple of weeks ago, especially in that first meeting against the Philadelphia Eagles. And flip side is the Eagles are not the same team. They arguably are the best team for the first 12 to 13 weeks of the NFL season. Hurts, you mentioned Sweat. Johnson's going to gut it out. I don't know about the mobility of Jalen Hurts if, you know, you're taking a ton of hits. I think the X factor is going to be Sexy Dexy in this one. Sure. If he can start blowing up that line and you get these guys off the edge, you have to contain Jalen Hurts. Now, from a line standpoint, the way the Giants have played, you know, they take punches, they take shots. And you mentioned 14-4, man. They are a flat out covering machine. And they're not, this is not a nice little story anymore. They believe they can go on the road and not only win the game, but I should say cover the game, but win the game outright. Players are thinking, hey, we're going to win this game outright. Obviously, they're not thinking about the line, so to speak. Right. But this is a game where I think it's going to come down to a field goal as well.
I'm going to call the upset. We're going to win. Giants are going to win. Giants are winning this game. Third time's a charm.
What score would you give?
I would say we're going to have to contain the Eagles. I'm going to say it's 24-23 final.
Yeah, it's funny because I had 27-26 and Brandon had 28-24.